Hey guys, what is going on? Welcome back to Warship Gunner 2. Last time we finished up mission 150, and we're going to go ahead and see the briefing for the next mission after we save. But yeah, next up is one of my favorite missions. I actually really like the next mission a lot, even though it can be a little difficult if you don't have a battleship, but I like the mission. So force your way through Panama. Yes, the Panama Canal. We will now begin our final rundown for our operation to break through the Panama Canal. Let's see. Entering from the Pacific side, of course. Previous operation, yep. Good. So the problem lies in the period between breaking into the canal and escaping the Atlantic Ocean. You can see the canal up there in the top left. And, yeah. We have to start there and get up to the canal, but not before we destroy some other stuff. There's a lot of enemies in this mission. Like, a lot. There are a couple of air bases that we need to take care of. Okay. Pass the gates and escape into the Atlantic Ocean. Cool. Lake interior is very narrow with many small islands. It is. It's kind of tight in here a little bit in some places. But it's not so bad. I mean, you can take whatever ship you want into this mission and be fine, so. See how she says we won't have time to dock anywhere? Keep that in mind. That's a very important statement. So, make sure you're actually really well prepared with whatever ship you choose. Okay, got some development complete. And alright, let's do some R&D. How many turns are left on our big guns here? Looks like 2 turns on the guns, 1 more turn for the barrels. But we can't do anything with the barrels if we don't have the guns. So 2 more turns before those are done. Structures. We want to prepare ourselves for having a carrier, so we're going to want both of those. I don't think those are actually requirements anymore like they were in the first game, but it's good to have them anyways. So, forward bridges. Oh yeah, carriers are over here. We're just going to go ahead and take the first one. We don't need to get real fancy with this. So 14 and 4, 16 and 3. I think I'd rather have the extra radar. And also it's US, and I like US carrier stuff. It looks really good. And generally speaking, the US have the best carriers in this game, most of the time. And I believe the Americans are the only ones to get a Tier 5 carrier as well. So, carriers do not have aft bridges, in case you're curious. We need to get a carrier hull. We have the carrier Tier 1, but we don't have a hull yet. So let's go down here and take a look. So, we can't get either of these for a little while, but we can choose between US as a maximum, let's see, that is 5,700 capacity and 10 aircraft, and this one has only 8 aircraft and a hell of a lot less. Look at that. The maximum load on the US is 7,000. Maximum load on the German is 4,500. And so yeah, US definitely better. Now if we even compare it to the other ones, the US one is still better in terms of weight capacity. And if we compare it to the UK, still better in terms of weight capacity. And the only, as far as aircraft carryable, Japan is the only one that ties with the US for 10 aircraft, but it has really not great weight capacity. So the US is obviously the best one. Like, there's just not really a competition. Now, you could try to build like a Japanese carrier after a real one, which is fun, and I like to do that sometimes. But as far as just trying to play the game and do good, US carriers pretty much all the way for most of the game, I think. So let's get a CV boiler because we're going to need that later. Oh yeah, these are submarine diesel engines. We might as well take some of those because we are going to be doing some submissions as time goes on. Systems. Let's see. I don't think we need that yet. We'll take this. And we'll take that. And let's see, what else? I don't really care about any more of those. We'll take the next tier up of all of those. And let's look at aircraft. We're going to want... Fighters are my favorite because they're decent at attacking other aircraft, but they also have bombs and other things to attack. Like surface targets, like ships and shore-based installations and stuff, buildings. So fighters are my favorite. Now you'll notice we have like 4 different trees here. The first tree in each of these aircraft categories, they're all arranged like the same way. The first tree is always Japanese, the second tree is American, the third tree is British, and the fourth tree is German. And that's how all of these are laid out. Now we also have helicopters over here that are new. And these are really cool because they can go and pick up crates for you if you have them. So I actually kind of want to save my money up for a helicopter. Well, I guess I don't need to do that. Oh, and what I just did there was I accidentally hit L1. But since I did it on accident, I might as well mention it. If you're trying to get more icons on the screen at once, you can hit L1 and make them smaller. But by making them smaller, you get less information. Eventually to the point where you can't see anything about what the item is. But say we're in like the hulls or whatever. So let's go back to the hulls. And there's a bunch here, and we're like, I can't see all of what's going on. We can make these smaller, and even though we can't really tell what's what, at least, you know, we can see more on the screen. And all we have to do is mouse over something, and then we can be like, oh, that's what that is. So I never use that because I like being able to see what all of these things are without having to be right on top of them. But the option's there if you want it. So let's look at fighters. Let's see. We can get all the way down to the F-63 Wasp. Can't quite get the Super Wasp. But let's go ahead and take that. And in 3 turns we'll have a good aircraft for our aircraft carrier that we will be building later once we have everything we need, you know, researched. So that is that. I don't think we got anything new for our battleship. No, I don't think we did. I think, well, let's just jump into it. We're going to use the battleship. See, in the bottom it says submarine not available. So if you wanted to use a submarine in this mission, you couldn't. And that's largely because of the mission that comes after this one. And like I said, and like Brown said, we won't be able to return to the dock right after this mission. So trying to use a submarine in the mission after this one would be terrible, and you'll see why when we get to it. So remember when I was talking about farming planes for money? I think that was in the last episode, or possibly the one before that. This is a great mission for that, because there are aircraft all over the place. So we're going to go into engagement mode, let the high angles take care of stuff. See, it is kind of cramped in here as far as like the islands and stuff, but it's not so bad. I mean, it doesn't matter what ship you have, you're not going to have trouble maneuvering in here. But, yeah. A bunch of ships up in front of us that all just got obliterated by my many high-angle guns. PT boats, by the way, do not drop survivors. That's why, even though there were a bunch of ships, we only got 1 survivor, because only one of those ships was not a PT boat. If we look over there, we can see we have a destroyer leading a bunch of little PT boats. So that's why we are only getting 1 survivor. It's also why they all die very quickly, because PT boats and destroyers do not have a lot of health or damage resistance. So let's get all of these, and then loop back around. There's going to be a lot of aircraft here, so just be ready for that. And they can get to be a little overwhelming if you don't have good AA, but we have a lot of high angles and machine guns on here, so we should be fine. See how there's a random funds crate sitting over here? That dropped from a plane. Planes drop funds and money, like I said before. So if you want to farm a mission for money, find a mission similar to this one that has a lot of planes. and just hang back and kill all the planes. Here we go. Stop so we can turn a little better. There's a crate out there that's ammo. Don't need that. Planes that drop crates over land, if the crate hits the land, it just blows up and you can't get it. So if ever you're trying to get a cargo plane to drop a treasure, make sure the cargo plane is over water, not land, otherwise you lose your treasure. And that's not fun, because some of those cargo planes are actually really hard to get. So, let's go back to engagement mode. Let the high angles take care of more of these shore installations here. I haven't even fired my main guns yet, don't really need to. And I guess we'll open up with the main guns here, just because. No, back to the engagement mode. The engagement mode is really handy, especially when you have high angles. And for some reason, the high angles just clip right through land. They don't care whether there's land in the way or not. So that makes high angles even better.
Enter engagement mode.
When it comes to high-angle guns, I recommend always using the 12.7 centimeters with whatever the highest caliber that you have available is. They're just better than the 10 centimeter ones. Ooh, funds! Look at those. Let's go get those. You can see the high-angle guns. They are 12.7 centimeter cannons, but because they're high-angle, they can shoot well higher, of course. But they also fire flak, so they don't have to be direct hits when firing an aircraft, or anything else for that matter. So that's why high-angle guns are distinctly different from just cannons of the same size. They're also quite a bit smaller and, you know, take up less space, and have more ammo. So, yeah. Again, it doesn't really make sense for them to have more ammo or be smaller, because they are the same size, you know, cannons as like a 12.7 centimeter cannon, but they're high angle, so that makes them special and magical and small. So that's how that works, I guess. Let's fire at that airbase. Where is that airbase? There it is. Let's kill that. No more aircraft for them. After these guys are all dead, that is. They're in the canal area. And now we pretty much just have to wait for them to open the gates for like 5 minutes. Literally. So it definitely won't take us 5 minutes to kill everything, but it'll take them 5 minutes to open the gates. So we're going to be just kind of waiting around over there for a while. And I'll probably cut that out, because that is kind of tedious. Now this carnage that I'm inflicting here with just my high-angle guns, you could easily do this with a cruiser. With enough high-angle guns on a cruiser, you could do the same thing. So I don't even have to fire my main guns as I sail towards all of these big, this big group of enemy ships. Actually, both of these big groups of enemy ships. I don't even have to fire my main guns because I have enough high angles that they'll just do all the work for me. You could accomplish the same thing on a cruiser, assuming you have enough main guns or enough high-angle guns on a cruiser. So.
Secondary objective complete.
And you can see we've already picked up a lot of funds crates, and that's why this is one of the best missions early on for farming money. The only issue is that no matter what you do, you have to wait for these 5 minutes for these gates to open, and that just takes forever. So, this is the part where, like, if I were live streaming, I would just hang out with the chat and talk to them. But I don't even know how to live stream, and nobody would show up because I have like 13 subscribers right now. So, and that's on YouTube. If I tried to stream anywhere else, I definitely wouldn't get anybody watching. So, oh boy, yep, because that's how boats work. In case anyone was curious. And now we sit here. And I'm picky, so I'm going to orient my guns the right way around, like so. We're going to launch our plane, because we didn't do that yet. There he goes. And I'm going to see you guys once the gates are open. So, see you then. Okay, here we go. They're just about to open the gates. So... Ay. Takes a long time. You would think that if I showed up with a ship like this, they would just let me through. Like, they wouldn't try to fight or anything. They'd just be like, oh, yeah, you have a lot of guns. You can go right on through. Because we don't want to deal with you. Go be someone else's problem. But there we go. That's the mission. Which is incredibly long because of that 5-minute waiting. You spend the first, like, 2 of it just... oh, whoops, I can withdraw. You spend the first, like, 2 of it just sitting... Or just, like, fighting, you know, enemies and stuff, so... The other 3 minutes or so is really the long-winded part where you're just kind of sitting around. There we go. Ta-da! Got a torpedo. We got some new underwater torpedoes. And okay, cool. Yes, this mission will continue without returning to the dock. So I'm actually going to end it off right here in the save menu because I don't know how long the next mission is going to take. It could take a little while. So thank you for watching, and I will see you guys in the next episode of Warship Gunner 2.